Rotate device max.
Because you have
Green.
that orientation locked.
So settings right there.
I don't know. I don't know what you pressed when you. You must have your volume up on one of them too. That one I just pressed on there. Well, there's 4 people watching, so somebody's watching us struggle. We're trying to rotate the screen, can't figure it out. Hey, Matt.
Well,
What did you press before when you locked the orientation?
well, I had to go back, and it was going to start a new live stream, so I didn't want to do that because this one was already set up. Sorry, Matt, we're trying to get our screen rotated correctly. It had the same problem last time, but I don't remember what we did.
Are you a subscriber?
BDLC. If you're a subscriber, that's why you got the notification. Let's see if we can just back this up and we can both get the picture. How's that?
I think this is the way it was last time too.
Yeah. Hey, welcome y'all. We thought we'd do a live, get the band back together here. There's no real topic. We just get together every now and then and let you know what's going on here on the farm and bring you up to speed on things we're doing and stuff like that, and just have a little chat. There's no real what you call.
I don't know the word you're thinking of.
Well, it's probably the what she said.
Huh?
There's no real topic.
Oh.
Yeah, we're just hanging out. And we couldn't figure out how to get the orientation right on the camera without stopping the whole thing. So, Sam's here too. We're going to have a few more people coming on here, and then we'll get rolling. Definitely fall here in Nebraska. The weather's changing, so we're getting prepared for that. And as you know, I'm not doing harvest this year, so harvest is going full swing, but I'm not part of that. So they did call me on my way to California and asked me to come help, but I was in the middle of Nevada and couldn't do that. But went out to California just for a little bit for my 40th high school reunion, and had a real good time at that. It was fun, and went to a couple other things while I was out there. We had the county fire meeting while I was out there, and hadn't gone to those in quite a long time. They actually voted me in as a life member, so that was cool. Had a good dinner and visited some friends while I was out there, but got back safely. You haven't seen that video yet. It's coming up here in the first part of November. So glad to see you all. Who we got here?
Still Sam and Matt and BDLC.
BDLC, how long ago did you subscribe? I'm not, you must not have commented or anything because I don't recognize your name, but welcome anyway. Hope you're enjoying the content so far. So we got the garden all put to bed. You haven't seen that video yet either, but we're pretty well set to go into winter. We've pretty much got Kelly's guinea coop all done, stuff like that. But we were driving yesterday to dinner because my lovely wife bought me dinner last night, and she told me a story in the vehicle that I had never heard before, and I had no idea that's the way things went down. And I wanted to share that story with you because it was very interesting. It was about the day that we met. I tell everybody that we met in jail, which is actually true, but we both worked there. I was a sergeant at the jail. I ran the facility on the shift, and Kelly was actually a nurse in the jail. And we had ran across each other. I had just started working swing shift, Kelly had said, so we hadn't been around each other too much. And I went into medical just to see how things were going because I like to do my rounds every night and kind of check in with everybody. And I got cornered by one of the nurses, wasn't her, and she started asking me all these questions. So I was just kind of being friendly and answering her questions, but she was asking me all kinds of stuff. Kelly can tell you how it went down because she's got a better perspective of what went on, because I had no idea till yesterday a lot of the stuff that was just pretty crazy. So can you give them a rundown of what we talked about in the car last night? Because I was surprised.
So me and one of the other nurses were sitting in medical. The jails work with bare bone medical staff. Usually don't have doctors in facility. It's usually nurses, RNs and LPNs or LVNs, depending on where you live. I was an LPN at this time. Hi, Linda. And me and one of the other nurses were working, and we had finished all our stuff, so we were sitting in medical going through doctor's orders from that day and just catching up on stuff. And she started drilling me about why I was single. And I'm like, I had a boyfriend 12 years prior to that, and he had passed away from diabetes. He was on dialysis and had kidney transplants and stuff like that. He was pretty sick, but he had passed away 12 years earlier. And it just wasn't something I was looking for. I had the man of my dreams, I thought, at the time. I mean, he was. I loved him. I still miss him. But I thought that was my one shot at relationship, and so I didn't really look. I'm not outgoing or social enough to go looking and picking up guys. So she was really drilling me and trying to get me to be more social and look for somebody to love. And I told her, if God wants somebody in my life, he will put him right in front of my face. And within a few minutes, Mark popped into the doorway of medical. And she had already been asking me questions about like what type of guys I liked and, you know, what I looked for in a man or whatever. And Mark popped in, and all of a sudden a light bulb in her head went off that she must have known he was single. And she started drilling him about what type of women he looks for, what he looks for in a mate. And every question that she asked, he answered, and the answers were pretty specific to me. Like I checked off a lot of the boxes. And I don't remember all of what the questions were that she asked, but one was pretty specific. The day before I had met him, I had gotten a tattoo on my chest here. You guys might have caught a picture of it. If I'm in a tank top, sometimes you can see it, but it's a butterfly with a breast cancer symbol in the middle of it as the butterfly body. And I'd gotten it the day before. My aunt and I went and got matching ones because she's a breast cancer survivor. And so she had asked him, you know, if you would ever date somebody that had tattoos, and he's not a fan of tattoos. He doesn't like them. Piercings and tattoos.
That's graffiti.
And I had multiple piercings too. I had 3 ear piercings in each ear, and I had the cartilage up here pierced, and I had my nose pierced. And I had another tattoo, so this was my second tattoo. But anyways, he said, no, I'm not really into tattoos, but you know, if somebody had like a little butterfly or something, that would probably be okay. And she
had a butterfly.
That was what I had just gotten tattooed the day before. And
not that I was looking for a butterfly, but
it just happened to coincide that that's what he chose. And so they finished up their conversation. I was working on my work, and he went down to the break room, and the nurse that I was working with followed him down there. And the second that she took off through the door, I knew what she was doing. She was going down there to try to fix us up. And the next thing I know, she's coming back with a Post-it note that has his phone number and his name on it on his Facebook page, to connect with. And we kind of sat down in medical for a little while. She kept trying to get me to go to his office and talk to him or whatever. But again, I'm not forward, outgoing, anything like that.
No, you knew that, right?
And so eventually, I can't remember if he texted me or I texted him, but one of us ended up texting. And then in between work all night long, the rest of that shift, we texted back and forth trying to get to know each other. And
Ruby.
that's Ruby. And so then we set up a date, and the rest is history.
Well, there's a little bit to be said about our first date too, because
there almost wasn't a second one.
You didn't know if you wanted a second one after we went out on the first date. I took her to my favorite place. There was a place in Oakdale, California called Feresi's Deli, and they have fantastic food there. And then my favorite dish was the cowboy steak sandwich, and I loved going there. But I had her meet me there, and I'll let her tell you how the date went right off the get-go.
So we ordered our lunches, and I start eating, take a couple of bites, and I look up, and next thing I know, he's got that steak sandwich almost completely finished. He basically swallows it whole.
It's amazing.
And so I'm like, all right, well, I'm not a very chatty person. I'm not a very nosy person. I don't ask people personal stuff about their lives or whatever. I'll talk and chit chat if it's brought up, but I don't get into people's business. And so I'm trying to figure out how to get a conversation going. And every question that I ask, he basically answers nicely, but it doesn't extend the conversation. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm not a conversationalist, so this is really hard for me. And the last thing that I thought to bring up was a garden, because that night that he showed up in medical, we were talking about hobbies and stuff, and he said that he liked to garden. He had a backyard garden. So as soon as I brought up the garden, his face lit up, and there was probably a 20-minute without hardly any breaths where he just talked about his garden. And so the conversation ended with, "Do you want to see my garden?" And so I was like,
how's that for a pickup line? Hey, baby, you want to see my garden?
I was like, okay. And so we each get in our vehicles, and he lived about 20 minutes away, I think. And on my way over, I texted the nurse that had set us up, and I said, hey, he just invited me over to see his garden, but if I don't show up at work tonight, send the cops out to dig up something, because he's probably buried me in it. And she texted back, and she was happy with that. But I went over there, and yeah, it was a really nice little garden. We gardened in that for 2 years?
Yeah,
before we moved.
Garden. My pop got the garden in that too before he had to go to a home. And yes, Matt, I do eat like a cop, but I worked ambulance and firefighter also, which that's why I ate fast most of the time, because you never knew when your pager was going to go off and you had to leave. In fact,
he still does it.
When I used to go into restaurants when I was working ambulance and on the fire department, I would pay my bill ahead of time, because if my pager had to go off, I was out the door and I couldn't sit there and wait at the check stand. So always paid my bill ahead of time, and most of the places I went knew me, so they would keep my food warm until I got back. But yes, that's exactly why I eat so fast. I'm trying to slow down from that. But I knew how we met and everything, and I'd known that all along, but I didn't know the backstory until yesterday, and I just found it amazing that, she said, if God wants me to have somebody, he'll put him in front of me. And I walked in and basically sat down in front of her within a couple of minutes, and the whole butterfly tattoo thing, that was pretty crazy. So that really caught me off guard yesterday, because I didn't know the backstory. That was pretty cool. So wanted to share that with you guys. Our weight loss is going well. Kelly just informed me yesterday that she's up to 70 pounds down now.
Up to 70 pounds down?
Well, down to
Down 70 pounds.
You're up
Yeah.
to 70 pounds down. Well, whatever.
It just sounded funny the way
Yeah,
you
it
said it.
does. I have an interesting way of putting things usually. I'm still at 68, so she's passed me by. I got 2 more pounds to go to my goal. I've slowed way down on the loss because I've added calories back into my diet because I'm losing about a pound every week or 2 now. So within the next couple of weeks, I'll be at my goal, and then I can add calories back in. And I'm still conscious of what I eat, but not as much. So that's where we're at on that. We just rendered a whole bunch of lard that we found on Facebook Marketplace. One of our acquaintances here locally got a bunch of extra fat from processing their hogs, so they offered it up, and we went and got it. So upcoming on the channel, you'll see that. We're going to make some soap. We're going to make some other stuff, so stay tuned for all of that. Kelly's been going full force with the freeze dryer. What have you got done lately?
What did I pull out this last time? Another batch of eggs. I did like another 75 eggs, I think. There was 15 in each. So yeah, 75 eggs. And right now I'm working on the stuff. If you follow the Facebook page, I posted pictures of baking up some pie pumpkins. And I'm working on trialing something between that stuff and the freeze dryer right now. So we'll see if it turns out, and whether it turns out or not, I'll still post pictures on Facebook to let you know, but hopefully it turns out.
She's got quite a bit done between the milk and the eggs and the chicken broth and all your fruit and vegetables you've been doing. Nothing went to waste out of that garden this year. She freeze dried a bunch of stuff, which we're very thankful to have. But always interesting to what she's doing down there. And the chickens seem like they're kind of slowing down a little bit, aren't they?
Yeah, the getting earlier, lighter is cutting their daylight, and so they're not really putting out. I got 3 eggs tonight. They just went through a molt though. They're wrapping that up. They went through molt kind of early, which was good because the weather was still warmish when they did it. So they'll get back on track now, and I upped their protein. I've been giving them some wild game feed in with their regular stuff. So.
All right. Mark, how is your mom? You can ask her. She's actually on here. She came on right after you did. She's doing good. I see her about 3 times a week. We had a little scare with one of her friends here recently that she kind of takes care of there at the facility. She had went to the hospital, but she got back and she seems to be rehabbing a little bit, so we were happy with that. I don't know if y'all know because that video hasn't dropped yet. I recently lost my uncle out here, the one that we used to come out and visit and farm with. He passed away. He was in the same facility as Mom. We had his service here last week. It was a real nice service. Everybody came together for that. But that was a little rough, but we got through it. But other than that, Mom's doing well. What else do we have going on? I already talked about the guinea coop.
Yeah, just some finishing touches on that. Hopefully move them over there this weekend. Got
some other preparation stuff that we're doing. If you saw the video today, we had our basically our last ditch water well where we can still get water kind of thing that I did today, where we made a thing so we can get water out of the well. If you watch that video today, but there's a few other things here around the homestead that I need to get going. I've got that big 350 gallon propane tank for the shop now, so it'll run the generator. I just got to get the regulator and the pipes and stuff for that to get it through the wall so we can fill that. And then I have a propane fitting that I'm putting down in the basement for emergency purposes if we need that for buddy heater or emergency cook stove or something down there. I've got that ready to go in. I should get that done here in the next couple days. And then I'm going to start working on my barbecue trailer out in the shop. If you're interested in that, we're going to start putting that together. I've got all the pieces now. We left 3 barbecues in California, so I've been without one of my big trailer barbecue smoker things that I used to use a lot. Kelly's favorite one we left out in California with my daughter, but I just didn't want to pull that clear to Nebraska because it's not something that you want to take on the interstate really. So that's where we're at with that. But lots more projects. I got plenty of projects coming up for the winter for those of you that like that stuff. And we're still doing some recipes and stuff like that. So we hope you all are enjoying that. Thank you, Sam, for your condolences there. Still waiting for a video from you, Sam.
And Linda said she was sorry too.
Oh, thank you, Linda. Been watching your videos, Linda. Good stuff. But if you guys have any questions for us, go ahead and shoot. If not, we can make it short tonight. We don't have to drag you out here for an hour if you guys got stuff to do. So
You said you texted Matt the Facebook thing on using their wheat for the graham crackers?
yes, Matt, I sent you, was it the picture? Was it a picture?
Did you send him the post from the Facebook page?
Oh, the post from the
what you
Facebook
sent.
page. She just used some more of your flour for her graham crackers that she made.
They made amazing graham crackers.
So good.
I'd show you, but I ate the rest today.
You ate them all?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, the rest, the other ones.
Well, there wasn't much left, but I was looking forward to a couple of them. But oh well. Matt said yes, he did get it. How much of that flour you got left?
Enough to do a couple more batches.
I know the finer ground flour we're out of, but you're working on the coarser ground stuff now.
Yeah,
I forget what you guys call that.
rose white or something like that.
Yeah, it's really good stuff. Yeah, Country Fudge says she showed him. So how's things in Oklahoma? Is your weather starting to turn down there? Is your garden still going? Are you getting that cleaned up? Dave showed up. Hello, Dave. How you doing? Yep, we're still here. Dave's pretty much watches every video we make. Thank you, Dave. He's always good for a comment on our videos. Mom said the brownies were delicious. I made her some brownies the other day. Thank you. Hopefully you shared with all your friends because there was a bunch of them.
Tell everyone why you turned your glue upside down.
Oh.
Must be talking to you.
Well, it was in that video. When you're using PVC glue, I turn the can upside down because you can tighten those as tight as you want, but for some reason air still gets in there and your glue will set up in your can. Every time I go to use my PVC glue, it's too hard or too thick to use. So whenever I put my lid back on my PVC cement, I turn it upside down so there's no way for air to get in it, and it seems to work a little better. But good catch on that, Sam. Mom said yes, of course. She shared her brownies. I got a lot more brownie mix too because it was free at the grocery store and Ramona was coming, so I bought some brownie stuff, but we didn't make any brownies. So I got plenty of brownies to make you guys down there.
You got to stay home to do that.
True. Well, the weather's getting to be where I'll be home a lot more probably. We do have a trip coming up. We're going to go visit our friends in Tennessee at some point. Kind of turned into a yearly thing, so that'll be cool. Got to take the pups with us. So they got to put up with our crazy dogs for a week. But we can't set them up long enough here at the house because they're not outside dogs, they're inside dogs, so that wouldn't work out. Ruby's been doing really good, but we've been leaving her out because when we leave for an hour or two, we've been locking her in the kennel because she would get a hold of stuff and chew things up in the house. Only if we weren't paying attention. She's bad on blankets. But we've been leaving her out and she's been doing fantastic. And then this morning, I was making a flyer for our Christmas party that we're going to have this year. And I came out of the bedroom after about 10 minutes and she had one of Kelly's blankets ripped apart with stuffing all over the floor. And she hadn't done that for so long. I was quite disappointed in her, but
She regressed.
Hopefully we can get her back on track. She looked like she was remorseful. Yeah.
That would be the first time in her life. She's not.
Matt said they're finally getting rain down there. So are we. We got
Us
a little bit
too.
of it here today. We're supposed to get some more tomorrow, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to rain for the next possibility of rain for the next 2 days. It's just these little systems that keep popping in and out and moving around, so nothing significant.
We needed it. I'm sure you guys did too, because you're kind of in the same weather pattern we are usually. Let's see. Sam, garden just has fall cold weather crops. Yep. What do you guys grow for cold weather? I haven't got that dialed in here yet, because being new to Nebraska, I haven't figured out our fall crops and when to plant them. And our garden center pretty much shuts down after the spring planting and a little bit during the
So
summer.
we got the seed.
They don't really mess with fall plants, but we do have seeds. I just don't know when I'm supposed to start them here in Nebraska yet. I still got to get that figured out. But what do you guys plant for your fall crops? Let's see. Well, she said right in the post, we have green tomatoes ripening, yeah. So still processing those. Have you ever made the taco sauce with the green tomatoes? It's really good. There's a recipe for that in our playlist if you're interested in that. Good stuff.
We're still red flag here too, Linda. The few little raindrops on it isn't going to change that. I think with today's rain and the little bit of rain we got the other day, we are up to like 3/10. It's not significant.
Dave said he's sitting in the shop with the wood stove going. That sounds like my kind of night. And he's wearing his MarKelly Farm hoodie watching YouTube. Life is good. Good deal. Glad you're enjoying that. Linda says they're still in red flag weather. Sorry to hear that, Linda. Dave said he's 56 degrees, raining in Western Oregon. Sorry, you guys can probably see all these.
Mustard, we haven't done that one. Mustard greens?
Haven't done mustard. Egyptian onions, never heard of those. Turnips. And they haven't had any rain. That's about the same of us. The last couple months, we haven't had any thunderstorms, anything. The faucet pretty much shut off. Pretty crazy. 1.5 inches. I didn't look at our weather station to see what it.
I just said it.
Oh, what did we add? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Between today's rain and the stuff a couple of days ago, we're at 3/10.
Oh wow,
3/10 of an inch.
I thought we had
most of it today.
I thought we had like 16 the other day.
No, it was like 0.09 or something.
Oh, must have been looking at the month.
And carrots. That's what I want to do. I want to do start our Brussels sprouts. Like as stuff starts going in the garden, start the Brussels sprouts in the greenhouse. And then
well, the Brussels sprouts are kind of fall.
Yeah, they're
stuff too,
they're
but
cool
I don't know when to start them. That was the problem.
Should be able to start those to plant out when the weather starts getting cool.
Yeah, California was easy, so
I want to do carrots, do kale, because our kale always bolts before it gets good and big.
Yeah, we got to figure out when to get our broccoli in too. So, Sam, when do you guys start your stuff? Do you start it inside or outside, or when do you plant? If you can let us know that, because I think our zones are almost similar. You're probably a little warmer than we are, but you probably get the fall weather about the same time as we do. She said lettuce is always in her garden. Well, Dave, you guys tend to get the rain up there in Oregon. I remember that, if you're northern Oregon especially. I remember being real rainy in Oregon.
That's why it's so pretty.
Yeah, it's pretty green up there. My family used to, not all of my family, but my dad's cousins lived in the Medford Talent area, which is
Have a
down
good night,
south.
Linda. Linda's leaving.
Night, Linda. I don't know why I'm yelling at you like
Right.
you're going to bed over here. Love you too, Linda. Oh. Well.
We got 28 viewers and 3 chatters. Where's everybody else?
Don't know. We even gave them plenty of notice this time.
Well, they're here. They're just not talking.
Yeah. So if you got any questions, now is the time to hit us up. While we're here live is the best time. What else was I going to say? I think I've already about covered everything. All the new stuff going on.
Matt said she's looking it up.
Okay.
Yeah, we should probably do that as start a garden notebook so we
Yeah, we need to
know
do
what
that.
works best when. And
The summer stuff is fairly easy. Roseburg area, I think I've been through there. That's not on the coast, right? That's more towards Central Oregon, I believe. I love that drive along the coast. We did that a couple years. We went clear up to, I think it was Newport, and went south from there, clear back down into California. That was a fun trip. Greg's here. Greg's one of our local subscribers here to us. We see them every now and then at the grocery store. How you doing, Greg?
Guy Bob wants to know if you're doing any pickles for winter. I think we're in pickles for the next couple of years. We won't have to do any.
Well, I think next year we do need to plant some pickling cucumbers because by then we'll need them.
Oh, that was a ton down there.
Bob, we actually, Alaska is actually on our bucket list. Our friends in Tennessee, my buddy Dave, his brother owns a lodge up there in Alaska. So on our bucket list one year is to travel up there with them and go fishing up there and hang out a little bit in Alaska. We've always wanted to do Alaska, whether it be a cruise or something up in there. Another thing on my bucket list is the Azores. Maybe someday we'll get out there because that's, I hear I still have family over there that we would look up, so that'd be cool.
No, they're more in East Tennessee.
Guy Bob.
Sam says they plant fall crops out on September 8th. So we'd probably have to do them like end of August, a couple weeks earlier.
So do you
Are
direct?
you guys getting any frost now?
Do you direct sow at September 8th, or are you moving plants out that you've already got going September 8th? Gatlinburg.
East of I-5, 100 miles. Excellent fishing. Yeah, pretty area. Didn't get a grain mill yet.
Well, I got one.
Well, yeah, you got a big old one.
I have to
We don't have a
refurbish it.
countertop one. I want a countertop one. I'm not going out to the shop to cut grain or whatever the term is for it. She direct sows on. Did I say it right this time?
Yes, direct sow.
I always say sow.
Yes, Greg, it is nice to have a little moisture for sure. Cool, Bob. Gatlinburg, Alaska. Never heard of it.
I think he was talking about Tennessee.
Oh,
You
no.
said we were going to Tennessee.
They're not from Gatlinburg. They're around Cookeville, that area.
They're East Tennessee.
Yeah, East Tennessee.
Oh, okay. Sam said they put hay around the bok choy and the carrots, but they haven't gotten a frost, so it saved
Gotcha.
it.
Interesting.
Gonna have to try it. Our stuff always like goes to peak right as we hit 85, 90 degree weather and no rain, and then it bolts. So
Yeah.
we need to do the cooler weather stuff.
Kelly asked me if she said so correctly because she used to say sow. It was hilarious.
I still do.
Do you sow those right in the garden? It's one
It's
of
not
those
spelled so. It's
English
spelled sow.
English language things where it's spelled weird for the pronunciation.
Ugh.
Fried green tomatoes.
He be eating all them himself.
Those are good. Have you ever had fried green tomatoes?
I don't like red tomatoes. Why would I like fried green
Yeah,
tomatoes?
it's a different texture. And you don't like fried stuff that much either, so maybe you wouldn't. Did you try my recipe, Dave, that I gave you? I believe that was you. But I don't have any green tomatoes. The garden's all put to rest. Everything's done. we've got a whole bunch of tomatoes in the root cellar this year, so it was a good year for that. Great year for the peppers. My gosh, the peppers went crazy out there this year. But I do like fried green tomatoes. They're fantastic.
Green tomato pie too.
I've never made green tomato pie. I will have to look that up. We did have, we're still trying to figure garlic out, Bob.
I did plant some in the herb bed, but it wasn't, I didn't do it right. It didn't do anything. I think I drowned it out.
Some people say you're supposed to overwinter it, but we get such hard freezes here. The ground is rock hard, but
No, there's certain types there's people around here that grow garlic really easily. You gotta get, I forget if it's the hard neck or the soft neck.
maybe it overwinters and then, gets going back again in the spring, but tastes like apple pie. I'll be darned. Now, I've seen a fake apple pie made with Ritz crackers. That's kind of strange. Mom's talking about their little garden there at the nursing home. We did a little garden day with the residents there and planted some garden. I brought some plants, and their garden down there really boomed. They got lots of cucumbers and tomatoes and watermelons and cantaloupes. Their garden did really well down there.
Planting garlic, Bob? Is that what you got? Or you just bought some garlic and it was from Nebraska?
Hardneck garlic.
I know people do it around here. I just haven't.
So when do you plant your garlic in Alaska, Bob, for your harvest? Is it in spring, or do you let it overwinter and harvest it in the summer?
Just have to get it in the ground before the ground is solid and it needs the cold temps to make the cells divide.
Matt, apparently Sam does not agree with you.
I'm with Sam on this one.
Just have to get it in before the ground is solid and needs the cold temps to make the cells divide. I'll be darned.
Around the first frost.
So right about now. Well, maybe we should try to find some. Maybe Aeroseed's got some.
Mm-hmm. Places are selling and shipping it, but I don't know if we get it in here in time to.
We get our businesses around here put out a lot of stuff for spring, but they're just not into fall for some reason. I don't know why. Because there's plants that they could sell, when it's the right time to plant for the fall crops. They could sell that stuff. I don't know why they don't do it. I don't know if they're not aware or what's going on. Yes, that's a good question, Sam. If they put mulch over their garlic. Now, you told me that we're not supposed to cut our asparagus ferns till spring, but I saw again the other day where you're supposed to cut those off in the fall to keep asparagus beetles from living in them.
Everything I've read says wait till the spring, mow it down, and then singe it with like fire gun, and then it kills off the beetles.
Yeah, the thing
But there are people
day,
that mow it down now because they don't want to look at it. But
yeah, the thing I read the other day said to mow it down now and mulch it for the winter. But we'll figure that out. We got our new bed out there. We need to.
Well, we can do half and half too and see which does better.
Went okay. Well, thank you, Bob. That's why we get together here, so we can share ideas and share info.
We eat a lot of garlic here, so it'd be beneficial to grow our own.
I call it jarlic because we get it in a jar.
We could probably do a whole garden of garlic and onions, and it would suffice us through the whole year. We put it in everything. Yeah, we had empty rows in the garden this year. We could have done it.
Yeah, we had room.
Next year, we're planning on doing a bunch of beans. I want to do, the previous owner of the house left us some Swedish brown beans that he used to grow. And then I want to do some black beans and like some kidney beans. Or
A little bit Swiss. Thank you. It's another name I hadn't heard before. Welcome if you're new to the channel. If you're not, I don't remember seeing your name in the comments, but thanks for being with us.
The wood ash probably would work, Sam. When I moved the guineas over and I cleaned out their coop, I was planning on taking that and sprinkling it over it. And then one of the neighbors has straw for her sheep that she said I could come get a couple of bales of. So I was planning on doing that because the asparagus can handle the hot of the guinea droppings. So.
Well, Greg, she probably knows better than I do, being from Nebraska. So wait till spring. We should probably side mulch it though, probably, huh?
Yeah, especially the baby ones. Like I said, I was going to clean out the guinea coop and then go get the straw and put the straw down on it. So.
Yeah, the wood ash is good for bugs. I guess it gets under their little, whatever they have, what do they call that? The little scales on them that gets in there and it like smothers them or something.
The bad thing about putting ash down is that the guineas will use it to dust bathe and then, so we'd have to cover it with something else so they wouldn't know it was there. A little bit says she's not new, just quiet.
Well, we're happy to have you, and you don't have to comment. It's not a requirement, of course, but that's how I kind of get to know people, through their comments. You must be content if you have no questions. No complaints. But we don't get complaints on this channel. It's amazing. I hear all these other people with channels about people getting on there and being so nasty and this and that, and they're constantly commenting on their channel. Oh, sorry we did this, or sorry we did that, or we just don't get that on this channel. We have the best subscribers in the world, I think. They're not real critical. They just kind of go with the flow. And
we also don't have millions like those big channels.
Well, yeah, we don't have 1 million subscribers either, though. So yeah,
we don't have the paid commenters hanging out and trolling our page.
Yeah, it's a good thing. We got a lot of good people. So many good people.
I just like the name. It reminds me a little bit. I had one of the chickens I had in California was a little bit, she was a little, what kind of, she was supposed to be a frizzle, but she was, I don't know, I forget the type of breed she was, but she was tiny, solid black, had feathery feet. She was cute.
She recently passed, we heard.
Yeah. But she lived a pretty good long life for a little chicken, so. One of our friends got her when we moved.
Bob, we've never done ducks, but the guineas are fantastic for bug control. Kelly used to have to check Brandy for ticks every single night when she would come in. And she would have 10 or 15 on her, and when she'd have to remove them. This year, since we've had the guineas, you haven't had to do that at all, have you?
A few times, but I haven't had to. I usually get the dogs that oral flea and tick medicine, and I haven't treated them all since.
But didn't they have that on board like last year when you were still getting ticks off of them?
Yeah, and we only had 4 or 5 guineas running around at the time, and they were still young, weren't exploring yet. So,
of course, Ruby's got such a thick coat. I don't know if she got them as bad as.
I found a couple on them, but they don't burrow deep enough because they smother by the time they get to her skin. And Brandy's the easy one to check too. She sits more still. Ruby hardly ever goes outside unless we're out there, so.
Yes, Connie, I agree. And welcome. Connie's pretty regular on the comments. We appreciate all your input and your thanks and all that. Well, I think we can wrap it up, huh?
Probably. Any final questions?
It was good talking with you folks. We like to jump on around once a month or so and check in with you guys. It's nice to have a live chat with you instead of just over the comment.
Oh, we did miss that question from Matt earlier about camping. We haven't gone camping.
I didn't even see it, sorry.
It was one of his first responses, and then you started talking, and I forgot.
Now's the time of year, though, when we enjoy it because it's nice and cool. We had a good weekend that we could have went, but I was just back from California and didn't want to bust everything out. But Kelly had a 3-day weekend that would have been perfect. There's a campground about 45 minutes to an hour away that I want to try here locally. Just coffee in mine. I just made some coffee. I don't know what Kelly's drinking.
Mine's my chocolate mint with a little bit of honey in it.
These are the cups that Debbie Yarham sent us. Yarham. Pretty cool cups.
Winter camping down south. I still work, so we don't get to travel anywhere.
Well, a little bit. We're
Well,
traveling.
we can't go that far.
Traveling next month. We got to wait until she gets her time accrued so we can go places.
Yeah, but then I end up using it, so it doesn't accrue.
Connie, I'm not done canning. Garden-wise, yes, but I'm going to be making some beef stew here within the next week or so. I want to do some bean and ham soup. Get that in a can. But I've got quite a bit of beef I want to turn into beef stew in the quart jars like we did before. So that'll be coming up. We're a couple weeks ahead on the videos, so even though I'm doing it next week, you probably won't see it until like the latter part of November. What was it in the French press? Yes, I just put coffee in here because I didn't want the whole pot. So our tap water is super hot, like 180 degrees. So I just put a spoon of coffee in there and fill it up with hot water for just me. Every now and then Kelly will have coffee in the morning, but we got a big pot when we have company and stuff like that. Or if I'm going to be drinking a lot, I'll go ahead and make the whole pot. But 3 days a week I'm in town for coffee, so.
I don't drink coffee black, and I've not been drinking it because I don't want the calories that are in the junk that's in the creamer, so.
Matt, I have not robbed the bees. I let our bees have all their honey they produce. I do not take any honey off. We have the guy that I actually got the bees from. They sell honey here locally. We get our honey from them. But I find the bees overwinter a lot better if I just leave them alone and let them do their thing, and I don't do any treatments on them or anything like that. They're just natural bees. We had one of our hives, I believe, swarmed out this year, but I'm just going to leave that hive. The neighboring hive robbed out anything that they left, but I'm going to leave it like that for about a year, because if the other hive starts multiplying to where they're like running out of room, if they swarm, they'll know that area next door, and half of them will probably swarm over in there, I hope. But if not, I'll get a package of bees probably the next year and refill that second hive. I probably should have put a third box on there, but then I would have had to take them back down for the winter because they can't keep 3 boxes warm in the winter. So I like to try to run it with just a brood chamber and a super and do it that way. So far it's been working good. This is the first year that one of them has taken off. And usually they leave about half of the bees behind, but I don't know if the bees they left behind commingled with the other hive or what, but they just abandoned the place. And
they weren't as prominent, and like normally they gather at the waterers outside our back door, and we didn't see them.
Well, they had other places to get water this year, but
yeah, but it's still, that's usually one of their main places, and we didn't see much of them.
Yeah, that was the busier hive. So usually they'll leave half of the bees behind with the I'm trying to remember where the old queen takes off, or I think the old queen takes off. So the bees that are loyal to the old queen will take off with her, and then the new queen will stay with the hive and continue that hive. I may have that backwards, but that's kind of what happens. Let's see here.
Got another Sam.
Another Sam?
Yeah.
Oh, that's our neighbor Sam.
Yeah.
Welcome, Sam. Did you get your invitation today?
I'm assuming Greg's talking about lost bees during the winter.
Beef stew is on my canning project list too. Where did he do that?
Last comment. He asked if we lost any during the winter. Very last comment.
Oh, that's Greg.
That's what I said.
I've never lost any bees during the winter. They've overwintered perfectly every year so far. But I do put that cover on the hives to keep the wind and the snow off of them. I think you've probably seen that if you've been watching the channel.
You take cranky dogs at your camp park, Sam?
Yeah, Sam, we'd have to bring our dogs with us. We can put them on
I think she said that you can have dogs.
we can put them on a cable.
They're
And
getting better.
I'd love to come down and do some camping and fishing too. Our neighbors Sam and Scott have a little campground behind their property there. So
Right on the river.
yep, neat place. All right, folks. Again, it was a pleasure hanging out with you guys. So we'll do this again probably in about a month or so. Don't hold us to right at the month. I want you all to stay safe next week. You never know what kind of shenanigans are going to come out of these elections that we're going to have next week. So make sure you're prepared at home for whatever may happen. You never know what kind of civil unrest or whatever's going to go on, or some other weirdos what they have planned around election day or whatever. It's just a really unsure time right now. So I want you all to stay safe next week and just hunker down, get out and vote, and hopefully we'll come out the other end of this thing all good and nothing's really going to go on. So that's what we're hoping for. Prepare for the worst and hope for the best. That's all we can do, folks. So, okay. Thank you, Sam. Country Dad, I have no doubt that will happen someday. Thank you, Dave. Have a good weekend, you too, Greg. Thank you, Sam. All right, folks. Love you all. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thanks for visiting with us here on the farm. We hope you stick around. We got a lot more content already uploaded. It's just got to drop every other day. And if you're a subscriber, there's a new video every other day. So if you're not getting those, something's up. So we've had people say that they're subscribed, but they don't get notices. So check, make sure you're still subscribed and make sure you still get those notices so you're not missing anything. So love you guys.
Thanks for watching.
Signing off. See ya.
Have a good weekend. The X up at the top of it.